All right, so you've been training day after day, week after week, month after month religiously, right? And you're not seeing the results that you want. You're probably asking yourself, what am I doing wrong, right? And I'm here to tell you guys what it really is that you're not doing. So if you're training hard month after month and the results are not there, guys, I just want to break it down to you guys. It's not genetics, it's your training. So you need to take a hard look in the mirror and ask yourself why. And I'm here to break it down for you. So a lot of you guys do not understand what training with intensity is or what it even looks like. And it shows because a lot of you guys tend to show up and you're taking in this long recovery rest periods. You're constantly looking around, you're text messaging, you're spending time on your phone, and all those minutes are going to start adding up. So if you're not, going in with the intention to train with intensity, then you're not going to see any changes. You guys have probably heard the famous quote, right? Train insane or remain the same. And, it is a very true quote. If you guys are not putting in that intensity, then you're not going to get the results that you want. So that's going to require you, to be more focused, right? When you guys come in with purpose, right? But it's just focus oriented, right? You're going in there, you put your phone in do not disturb, or you just lock in fully, right? You're in there with one mission in mind, and that is to put on the muscle and achieve that physique that you want, right? So you guys need to focus, man. Get your playlist ready, and it's just pushing yourself past, these mental barriers, right? Pushing yourself to maximal effort, to that point, where you just can't push anymore. That's really where you're gonna start seeing the growth. Some of you guys, you experience a little bit, tiny bit of pain, and then you easily just stop right there because you cannot push further, right? It's where you're gonna see the most results when you're able to push a little bit more further. So another thing is, if you guys are not aware, muscle is going to grow once you push it beyond its, capacity, its limits. And a lot of you guys tend to get to this certain point, this threshold, and you guys just kind of just call it quits and you guys stop right there. So you got to be able to push past that comfort zone because nothing in your comfort zone is going to grow. And the same thing goes with your muscles, right? If you guys cannot get past that comfort zone, where you start, accepting, that feeling of that pump, that burn, it's just then their muscles are not going to really just, take off. So that is why you guys can continue to have the same physique, the same results, week after week, and you can continue looking the same and wonder why others are lapping you. And again, guys, just to kind of touch on it, the gym is not a coffee shop, right? It's not for you guys to come in and socialize. And unfortunately, every time that I look around, during my rest periods, I see that so many people are socializing. They're too busy focusing on what the other person is doing. They're too busy focused on others, right? And you guys know the quote that, winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners. And that same mentality, carries over into the gym, right? You look at the guys that have the best physiques and they just come in, they put their head down, they get to work, they're sweating, right? They got that intensity and they're not busy observing others, right? They're not socializing with others. They're not, on social media. They're not taking these long breaks, right? They just come in, get out, do what they need to do. And that's how you guys should be as well, right? You guys need to come in, with one focus in mind, and that is to push yourself. And, the socializing can come after, guys. So come in, train with purpose. And you're watching others instead of focusing on yourself. It's taking away from your focus, from your performance. So rather than, focusing on others, you need to spend those 60 minutes, focus on yourself, your performance, your training, right? Your form, right? That intensity and the different strategies that go into, maximizing, muscle results, right? Muscle growth. So you guys are taking away, when you're spending all this energy observing others rather than focusing on yourself. So another pointer that I want to share with you guys, especially for a lot of you guys that are new, is, training, with ego. Some of you guys, are using too much momentum, right, to get the weight up. When you're training with momentum, you're sacrificing form, technique, and you're more prone to injuring yourself. And in all reality, you're really not going to be training those muscles that you want to target because you're using momentum and you're recruiting all these other muscles to get that weight up rather than, dropping the ego, dropping the weight and focusing on the form to maximize and yield you the best results. That is what I have noticed, and I know that plenty of others, especially guys that are probably even more bigger than I and you know, that they don't focus on momentum, ego lifting. They focus more on that time under tension. And I cannot emphasize this, guys. This is I'm giving you guys so much game with this right here, right? Time under tension, tut. Tut is king. I'm going to call it King Tut because time and attention is everything, guys, right? If you can slow it down and spend more time, right, on that concentric motion, right, that eccentric motion, then I guarantee you guys, you're going to start yielding the best results ever, right? And it goes with every muscle group that you want to target. That time and attention is everything, and it's key. So drop the ego because the ego is not your amigo. So all in all, guys, I want you guys, to focus on the intensity, drop the ego, focus on the form, right? Stop the socializing, stop all the distractions, right? Really just focus on yourself. Go in with purpose, train with intensity, train with form. And guys, these small, simple, just pointers, I know that might seem very minuscule, but in the long run, right, in the long distance, in the overall grand scheme of things, they are really going to add up. And when you're talking about months or even a year from now, these small pointers can take your physique, from basic to just looking like a Greek god. So you guys really just need to hone in on these very simple tips that you guys can take in and start incorporating starting now, right? To really just yield you the best results. And, I think that the truth is in the pudding, guys. So, if you guys got anything from this video, any kind of value, make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe, and comment down below what has worked best for you in the gym. And I'll see you guys in the next vid.